Decide to win, then make it non-negotiable. They will tell you life is a game of chance. They will tell you some are lucky and others are not. They will say fate chooses its favorites and fortune smiles at random. But they are wrong. The truth is far more terrifying and far more empowering. The truth is that life is rigged in favor of those who decide. Not those who try. Not those who dabble. Not those who hope. But those who decide, with such unwavering force that reality bends beneath their will. You don't stumble into greatness. You declare it. You summon it. And then you bleed for it. A man does not become unstoppable because he was gifted. He becomes unstoppable the moment he refuses to entertain any outcome except victory. That decision, the moment he burns the ships, silences the doubts, severs the backup plans, that's when the world begins to move. Because the world cannot help but move for the man who moves first. The man who does not wait for the light to turn green. He builds his own road and commands the green light to follow. Thomas Edison tried 10,000 times to birth the light bulb. They mocked him. They laughed. They doubted. But Edison had already decided. Failure wasn't failure, it was data. He didn't try to invent it. He decided it would exist. And then he refused to stop until it obeyed. So the question isn't whether you're capable. It's whether you've decided. And not just a soft decision. Not the kind you post online with a quote and a hashtag. But the kind you carve into your chest with fire. The kind you revisit every morning when the alarm pierces your comfort. The kind that pulls you out of bed when the world would rather you sleep. You want to win? Then decide. And once you do, make it non-negotiable. No debates. No detours. No detachment. You cut off every exit but forward. Because belief, true belief, is not born in convenience. It is forged in resistance. In the fire of rejection, in the shadows of loneliness, in the silence after 1,000 no's. Henry Ford was laughed out of rooms when he proposed an engine that ran without horses. But Ford didn't listen to the world. He listened to the whisper inside, the one that said, build anyway. That voice? That's not inspiration. That's not luck. That's decision speaking. And when you listen to that voice, when you obey it with everything you've got, you don't just build engines. You build revolutions. But belief without clarity is like a flame without fuel. It sputters. You must see it before you can seize it. You must define the victory so clearly that even your blood cells march in formation. Write it. Speak it. Breathe it. What does winning look like? Feel like? Smell like? Where will you be? What will your days feel like? Make it so vivid that the pain of not achieving it suffocates you more than any fear of failure. Clarity is not a luxury. It is a weapon. Vague desires breed vague results. But the man who knows where he's going, he moves with force. He walks into the fog with his spine straight and eyes forward. Not because he sees every step, but because he trusts the destination. Purpose is the oxygen of discipline. Without purpose, the grind will break you. But with it, the grind becomes sacred. It becomes the altar upon which you lay your excuses to rest. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Imagine that. The man who would go on to create an empire of dreams, told by small minds that he didn't have what it takes. But Disney had already decided. And when purpose ignites decision, the opinions of the world become irrelevant. There will be days when the weight feels unbearable. When progress hides and doubt creeps in wearing the mask of logic. But purpose doesn't beg for comfort, it demands confrontation. It tells you, this is your path. Now walk it. The truth? Most people don't lose because they're weak. They lose because they never made winning a requirement. They treated it like an option. But options breed hesitation. And hesitation is the assassin of destiny. So you must strip away every crutch. Every fallback, every just in case, and replace it with one mantra burned into your bones. I win or I die trying. There is no in between. Next section will continue seamlessly, no interruptions, no shift in tone. They will call you obsessive. Let them. They will say you're too intense, too focused, too unbalanced. Let them say it. Because the truth is, The world has always misunderstood the few who made their decision final. Obsessed is what the average call the committed. And balance? That's a word often thrown around by those who never dared to tip the scale in their own favor. You think Lincoln balanced his life when the Union was on the brink of collapse? You think Carnegie balanced his time while building an empire out of iron and steel? They devoted. They immersed. They sacrificed. Because they understood a law older than time. You will only rise to the level of what you are willing to surrender. Discipline isn't about waking up early. It's about staying awake when the dream tries to fade. It's about the man who laces up his shoes when no one is watching. The woman who studies when the rest of the world scrolls. It's not just the grind, it's the grit. The refusal to break, even when bending would be easier. And here's the paradox. The more you sacrifice, the more you gain. Because what you give up in comfort, you reclaim in power. And the man who embraces discomfort becomes invincible in a world addicted to ease. You want the prize? Then you must pay the price. There is no shortcut, no cheat code, no fast track. There is only work. Relentless, focused, burning work. Work that digs deep into your soul and carves out the future with calloused hands. And while others wait for motivation to visit, you build systems, rituals, non-negotiables. Your success does not depend on how you feel. It depends on what you do, even when the feeling is gone. That's what makes a decision real. Not the excitement, not the goal setting, but the follow-through when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one is clapping. Because that's the forge of transformation. That's where the average turn around, and the greats dig in. There is a moment in every warrior's journey when the storm gets personal. When everything around you seems to conspire against the vision you've committed to. People doubt you. Plans unravel. Circumstances tighten like a noose. And in that moment, you will be tempted. Tempted to question your path. Tempted to scale back your dreams. Tempted to negotiate with your vision. That's the trap. That's the voice of mediocrity, dressed in reason. That's the moment that defines you, not because of what happens to you, but because of what you choose to become. Yes. But never retreat. Pivot if you must. Reroute. Reinvent. But never shrink the goal to fit the fear. Expand the courage to match the dream. Because resilience is not about bouncing back. It's about breaking forward. It's about using every failure as raw material for the next strike. Every setback as a setup. Every no as a sharpening stone. You think those who made history had it easy? They had mountains. They had monsters. They had critics, chaos, and catastrophe. But they also had something else. A decision they made once and never renegotiated. And that's why they became unstoppable. Success is not found at the finish line. It is found in the refusal to stop. It is found in the daily recommitment to the decision. When it's exciting and when it's excruciating. When the applause fades. When the lights dim. When the only sound is your own breath and the ticking of a clock at 4 a.m. That's when champions are made. Not in the arena, but in the silence before it. You must love the process more than the prize. You must fall in love with the unseen hours. Because greatness does not arrive with fanfare. It arrives dressed in sweat, delayed gratification, and ruthless consistency. So whatever your goal is, mastery, legacy, freedom, know this. It's not just going to happen. You must force it to happen. Through will. Through work. Through warrior-level discipline. You must decide. And once you do, you never back down. The world does not reward the most talented. It rewards the most relentless. The ones who rise from their failures like phoenixes, who take every scar as proof that they refuse to surrender. The ones who build themselves in the dark, brick by brick, while the masses wait for permission to begin. Let this burn into your soul. Nobody is coming to save you. Not the government. Not your boss. Not your family. This is your life. Your war. Your battlefield. And the day you finally stop waiting, the day you look yourself dead in the eye and say, "This is on me, and I will not lose," that day the tide turns. That day you become dangerous. Because the man who takes full responsibility becomes untouchable. You can't manipulate him with blame. You can't weaken him with excuses. You can't stop him with circumstances. He's already chosen. He's already all in. He's already decided that no matter what the world throws at him, he will. And when you decide to win, truly decide, you start seeing what others don't. You see opportunity in resistance. You see lessons in rejection. You see firewood in every insult hurled your way. Let them doubt you. Let them whisper. Let them roll their eyes. Because while they talk, you build. While they sleep, you move. While they wait, you strike. This is how you separate. Not by doing what they do, but by doing what they won't. By staying in the game longer. By going deeper. By enduring what would break them. And when you do, something changes in your spirit. You stop craving validation. You stop measuring yourself by outcomes. You start finding pride in the process. You start living not for praise, but for progress. And suddenly, you're not chasing success anymore. You're becoming the kind of person who commands it. Vision without action is a hallucination. So once you've decided, you move. Even if it's small. Even if you're scared. Even if the path is pitch black and no one believes in you but you. You move. Because motion is magic. Action is what brings the dream down from the clouds and into your hands. Walt Disney didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. He dreamed with empty pockets and built with borrowed faith. He risked everything, failed more than once, but kept moving because he saw something others couldn't. That's leadership. That's belief. That's decision made flesh. Every empire began as a ridiculous idea. Every champion started as a nobody. Every masterpiece was once a mess. So what's your excuse? That you don't know where to start? Start anywhere. That you're not ready? You'll never feel ready. That you're afraid? Fear is a compass. It means you're walking into territory worth conquering. And if you fail? Fail forward. Fall with purpose. Collapse like a warrior with your eyes on the next attempt. There is no shame in falling. The shame is in staying down. But if you're serious, if this decision is truly non-negotiable, then every fall becomes a stepping stone. The question is never, will I fall? It's, will I rise faster than I fell? Because speed of recovery is the mark of the elite. And now listen carefully, because this is where the average get filtered out. This is where 99% tap out. When the grind gets old. When the thrill fades. When the dream starts to cost more than it gives. But not you. Not now. You're not here for the dopamine. You're here for the transformation. You're here to become someone. Someone who honors their word. Someone who walks with integrity. Someone who makes no excuse and accepts no defeat. So when life tests you, and it will, you respond with discipline. When the plan falls apart, you respond with adaptability. When you are told, no, you build your own door. When everything seems to slow down, you speed up internally. Because you're not powered by circumstance. You're powered by decision. And that decision is not open for discussion. You've burned the bridge. You've killed the backup plan. You've turned your maybe into a must. You've made it non-negotiable. So, when the world watches you, confused, asking why you keep going, why you refuse to stop, why you train like a soldier, why you speak with such conviction, why you carry yourself like the outcome is already yours, you won't need to answer with words. Your presence will be the answer. Because there's a power that lives inside a man who's already decided. A quiet thunder in his eyes. A pressure in his handshake. A certainty in his step. You can feel it before he speaks. You can sense it in the air around him. It's the aura of a man who no longer negotiates with his destiny. He doesn't beg. He doesn't bargain. He builds. And this world, the same world that once ignored him, doubted him, mocked him, will be forced to recognize him. Not because he asked for their attention, but because he earned their respect through the fire. But don't mistake this path for a straight line. There will be detours. There will be deserts. There will be moments when you'll look at the dream and wonder if it's all a lie. In those moments, remember this. You're not chasing comfort. You're chasing growth. And growth is violent. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth demands the death of who you were, so the real you can rise. That's what this is. Not a game. Not a phase. This is your resurrection. This is the funeral of your excuses. This is the birth of the version of you that does not quit. You decided to win. So now you train like it. You live like it. You think, act, and breathe like it. No more hope. No more try. Only do. Only build. Only become. There will be moments of silence. Long stretches where no one claps. No one sees the effort. No one understands the cost. That's where the real warriors are forged. Because it's in the absence of applause that you learn to clap for yourself. It's in the darkness that you learn to light your own fire. It's when no one believes in you that you finally learn to believe in yourself. And when you cross that threshold, when your self-belief becomes immune to external validation, you become limitless. Now you operate with force. You move like the outcome is inevitable, because in your world, it is. Because you've already seen it in your mind. You've already lived it in your rituals. You've already fought for it in your silence. The results are just catching up. Gratitude is not weakness. Gratitude is strength. It is the power source of perspective. It is how the strong stay grounded while they rise. It's not just thanking the world when things go right. It's thanking the struggle for making you stronger. It's thanking the delay for sharpening your discipline. It's thanking the resistance for giving you edge. Gratitude is how warriors stay human. It keeps your ego in check. It reminds you that nothing is promised, and everything is earned. So while you fight, you also appreciate. While you climb, you also reflect. While you build the next mountain, you honor the dirt beneath your feet. You are not entitled to success, but you are capable of it. And that capability becomes reality the moment you decide it's non-negotiable. The final war is not external. It's internal. It's the battle between who you are and who you could be. Between the version of you that settles and the version that soars. Between the voice that says, "Take it easy," and the one that whispers, "Take the crown." And you choose who wins. Not once, but every day. Every time you show up when it's hard. Every time you do the work without reward. Every time you choose growth over comfort, discipline over dopamine, purpose over pleasure, you declare to the world, "I've already won. Because I've already decided. And my decision is final." This is your edge. This is your weapon. This is your revolution. You've decided to win. And that decision is non-negotiable. Now go. Move like it. Build like it. Live like it. And never look back.